Hey gang, I'm Cole Chaney and this is episode 47 of the CBD Source Podcast. Happy Friday the 13th. You're listening to the CBD Source Podcast, your source for all things CBD. Well, I'm actually getting this episode up on Saturday the 14th because yesterday we were in the first stage of a national emergency with this coronavirus spreading across the globe. Later in the show, we'll hear part 2 of my conversation with Julie E. of Julie E. Health and how she incorporates CBD into her practice. So if you haven't listened to episode 46 yet, I suggest you put a pin in this, go listen to that first, and then come back because it's a real fun conversation with lots of tips and great advice. In this episode, the conversation continues with more nutritional wisdom. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, you have a gallon of ice cream sitting in your freezer. Is it better for your body if you eat it all in one night and then eat healthy for the rest of the week? Or if you eat a little of it every day over the course of the entire week, what's better for you? We'll find out the answer to that and a lot more coming up later on. But first, Cannabidiet Chef Ryan Webber, his fiance Rebecca, Anthony from the CBD Source Vape Lounge, and our CBD Guru Akash, as well as myself, sat down for a little roundtable discussion of what's going on. This happened Friday morning. What's going on in the world with the coronavirus, and not just that, but what's going on within our own office. So I hope that this pandemic fizzles out quickly, and by the time you hear this episode, if it's in the distant future, the coronavirus is just like a laughable bad memory of early 2020. But as of right now, if we're believing everything that we're seeing on the internet and the news, like we're sitting on the edge of the fan and there's this massive pile of shit and it's just 3 days away from hitting us. So let's dive right into it. Gang, this is the CBD Source Podcast.
Gang, you're listening to the CBD Source Podcast.
So this episode is going to be part 2 of Julie E. So we're going to learn all about nutrition. We recorded this before the coronavirus stuff started, and so I've got Chef Ryan Webber here, and his fiance Becca's also going to be talking with us. What's going on right now? Someone might be listening to this in the far future, and this is a little time capsule to the first couple weeks of the coronavirus hitting America. What's going on here right now? What have we been hearing, and what's going on?
I mean, when this first started, it was more like a joke. Not even like a joke, but more of like, okay, that's in a foreign country. But now that it's hitting home and it's hitting towns that we even live in, yeah, it's kind of, now it's getting real. It's always been real, but now it's getting fucking real.
I find it funny that with all this hysteria, people are buying mass amounts of toilet paper, but it's a respiratory disease. Like, it doesn't affect your bowels.
Yeah, people are just worried about being stuck in their house and not being able to wipe their ass. I think that's what that is. Like,
I think my fear of being stuck in my house was eating food.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
More than, anything.
Seriously. But around here, all hell is starting to break loose today because yesterday someone came into the office whose husband works for a business that someone there had tested positive for corona. So she went home and now is working from home. But that makes it really scary here because it's like it could get here quick, it's spreading so fast.
Technically it was in the studio if
she might have,
she was contacted, and it's insane because you don't think it's going to happen to you or even in your lifetime, something like this, but yet here it is.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts. We actually were getting all ready for our big appearance at our Hornell store opening of a CBD Source location in Hornell, New York next week. It was like the 21st.
Yep.
We had hotel rooms booked. We were like getting ready to do this. We were going to make the CBD brownies, and that got canceled. Like every event that's happening that's big is getting canceled right now. All these trade shows that we were thinking of going to, like everything is getting canceled for the next like at least month or two. So it's kind of nuts. I'm sure, gang, if you're listening to this, wherever you're listening to this in the world, because this is now a worldwide pandemic, it's either coming to your town or is already there. Like I heard on the news today that if you don't, you might have heard of people nearby, like someone in your county or a county nearby that's infected, and nobody you personally know or are related to have it yet. But like in the next like 3 to 5 days, you will. So this is not good.
They're saying about 1 in every 3 can possibly either be a carrier or have it.
Yeah.
And that's scary because there's 3 of us sitting here right now. It's like,
Yeah.
that means one of us could possibly, and it's just insane.
Yeah. Like I'm 42, you're 30. How old are you, Becca?
26.
Right. So you guys, like, we're probably not going to die from this, but we could carry it to someone who could. But Rye, you do have diabetes, and that does make your risk a little higher. There's like a whole list of things that could make your risk higher for dying based on the people who have died already in China. Like they have the statistics of who has died and what age they were and all that stuff. We got Anthony from the Vape Lounge joining us now. We're all in like crisis mode, sort of.
So now our probability went up. So there's 4 of us here. So we might not get it.
We'll blame it on Anthony.
Akash is wandering by. Everyone's kind of wondering what's going on because we've got like a meeting coming up at like 11:30, and they've been telling us to back up our computers and everything. Like we might be ending up having to do this podcast remotely from our homes.
The show will and must go on.
The show will go on. Like the nice thing for me is I've built a duplicate of my studio here at home, so I've got like all the equipment that I'm gonna need. Anthony, say hi to the gang. You can pull that down.
What's going on, gang?
You can pull that down to your level.
That's okay. I don't mind standing. I sit all day.
All right, adjust the mic up to your face then.
What's up, gang?
What's up? What's up? Yeah, it's a little. It's not a great day. Like I'm glad we've got some episodes already in the can. We actually had a interview that was going to be in the studio next week. I think we're going to have to cancel that depending on how this meeting
probably
goes.
Not going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I just point out how very Walking Dead-ish it looks? It's super rainy and gloomy out today. We're trapped in this office about to have this meeting about this disease that's killing mass people. Like, this is it.
And spreading
it's
so
pretty
quickly.
freaking wild.
Yeah.
Just try to keep them. I know things are getting crazy here today, but like the situation hasn't changed between yesterday and today here. That's all I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
in the office.
it kind of feels like it's crazier, but I think that's just because it's crazier here.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as cases go, like in New York, it hasn't gone that much crazier since yesterday.
Not yet,
we
because
don't
symptoms
know.
can show from 5 to 14 days.
Yeah, and they don't have any like ability to even test really. Like
Yeah, that's going to be a big.
And when Governor Cuomo went on there and said when they do start testing, the numbers are going to be outrageous.
Yeah.
So it's scary, especially if you're close with anyone who's in their 60s or 70s, or anyone who has like a pulmonary or like a lung issue already, or if they have diabetes or high blood pressure. Like all these things will make you at higher risk to die from this. Or if you have cancer or a compromised immune system. This is why I'm scared, because Brett's at home with cancer, and now like I'm going to work every day. It's like if I bring something back, I'm the one who did it, so I'm sort of glad if we do get to work from home, because then I'll at least know that I'm not bringing anything new in.
I think that's what it's looking like.
Yeah. It does look like that. I mean, they're telling us to back up our computers and back up our hard drives and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be, we could be transferring this to all of our mobile locations. Rye, you just got a new studio set up in your house, right?
Yes, I did.
So
I live fucking boss.
So it will sound just like we're recording here, because we can Skype and record remotely, and then I'll patch that audio in, and it'll sound just like we're in the same room.
You guys will never know.
My home recording equipment is bogus.
Is it?
It's like cheapo. Like
you can take one of these mics if you can. You like just set up Skype with your computer.
Yeah.
But
whenever I get mad at Ryan, just tell him go to your room. And he's like, "That's not really a punishment."
I'm like, "Oh,
I feel the
shucks,
same way.
okay,
Really?
I'll go to my
Okay.
room."
You're like, "Go to your room, young man." And he's just like, "Oh crap, what am I gonna do with all this recording equipment and stuff? Just chill out."
were you guys glued to TV and news last night? because it just went haywire last night.
Nope.
I
I
tried
watched
not to be.
Riverdale.
I'm an anxious guy as it is, and I'm just trying not to fuck myself here.
Yeah.
Get overly nervous. I mean, yeah, cautious, yes, but I just don't want to.
You mean hypochondriac?
I don't need another thing. Yeah, you know how it is.
I stopped at the Outpost last night and bought Lysol and just started spraying all my shit down.
Yeah.
Like, because like in my building, there are 2 other neighbors. Like they grab the same door handles, that that kind of
Same,
stuff.
yeah.
So it's like, oh man.
Well, it's like one of those things, like if this meeting and they say, okay, you have to work from home now or something, we need to do like a mass, food shopping and everything, because you never know the next steps. Work says you can't work, but then the state's like, all right, everybody stay in your house.
Or if everyone who was working at those supermarkets gets sick, or like they just start closing the supermarkets down because there's no employees to work them. All of our CBD Source locations are still open, and you can go get your CBD like.
And they have sanitizer and gloves.
Yeah,
They do.
all the
They've
workers
all been
have gloves.
advised.
They're all like trying to do this as healthy as possible.
We're taking precaution. I got an email from Subway last night that said we're taking precautions. We're still open, but we are sanitizing every 20, 25 to 30 minutes. They're all wearing masks. They're all wearing gloves. Well,
Can you
I
guys
hope
get your
wear
hands
gloves.
on masks? Steve, who runs Anthony's Vape Lounge, is wearing full mask and gloves today. Did you see it?
Here at the office?
Yeah.
He is no joke.
He's
right now.
no
Why is he so
joke.
concerned?
Because he's really worried about
Yeah.
this. It is a real deal. I'm thinking of it almost like I don't know. I don't want to scare everybody, but if it is like think of it like a virus that every time someone sneezes and they sneeze on a surface, like it's almost like acid on that surface. You don't see it though. It's invisible.
The floor is lava.
Yeah, it is like that. You touch that surface, 12 hours later, it could still be active. And then, now it's on your hands, and then you pick your nose or you wipe your eye or something, and, now you might have it. It's really crazy.
Like the video of that chick who was like, it was like this public health announcement, and she's like, don't touch your faces. And then she went to like turn a page and licked her finger to turn the page.
no.
It's like, it's really hard not to touch your face if you think about it.
Well, it was like Trump the other day was saying, like that he hasn't touched his face in days, and he's like missing touching his face. And then like right after that, he touched his face during the same like press conference.
apparently him and Mike Pence met with some foreign officials that are infected.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get tested.
They're not getting tested, so they're
what's
just going
the
to spread
reason?
it through the whole White House now. Like what if they have it? Like this is, and Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, who's basically
Yeah.
the President of Canada, his wife has it.
Does really?
Yeah. So he's in
shit.
quarantine now, and her. Like this is nuts. It's blowing up. Tom Hanks.
So crazy.
Like all jokes aside, though, it's like it's serious when the NFL, the NBA, the MLB is canceling the seasons
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of it, or the NCAA March Madness. They're still playing, but there's gonna be no fans in the season.
Yeah,
I
like
heard
that's like a
that's
pickup
weird.
game.
Yeah. All these like the debate this weekend between Biden and Bernie is going to be empty. Oh, no audience.
Like
Like
cancel a lot of like
cancel the rallies. Yeah. Cuomo was saying any meeting that's over 500 people is canceled. You can't have any kind
good.
of public
That's a good
gathering.
idea.
Not only that, like the candidates for presidency are older people.
Yeah, they are
Like,
all.
What if something happened? God forbid, they can receive it, and it's like
They're all on the border of possibly being like
they're at a higher risk.
They're at the highest risk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Disneyland just closed in.
Well, that's good.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's because Mickey Mouse is sick.
I can't even look at you right now.
That's pretty
Well,
good,
that's-
actually.
Yeah, we're gonna get sued over that.
No, I did the voice of Mickey for Mickey Mouse Club once, so it's okay.
Did
Oh,
you?
really?
Yes,
Oh, when you're a kid.
it's on my IMDb page.
For Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, the kid
Yes.
show?
Yes, sir.
Every episode?
Not every, but a couple.
That's
The original
I used to
Mickey
love
needed
that
a
show,
sick
dude.
day.
I know, you're welcome.
Makes me feel bad about what I've accomplished in life.
Well, you both ended up at the same podcast, so it all works out.
Look at that, win-win.
We're all on the same level here.
But no, seriously, it's scary. Like you look at your kids and you're like, okay, they're going to school. They're not canceling all the schools, but a lot of schools are canceled.
Oh, some states are canceling all schools. Like it's only a matter of days before all of New York schools are canceled. School of Visual Arts, where I went to school, is closed. Like all the big colleges around here are closing. All the SUNY schools.
Like my
Colin,
kid-
wasn't it you telling me about like there's a college that told the kids not to come back from spring break? They
Yeah, I
take
think
their
that's
classes
most
online, right?
kids now. Most schools that's happening because spring break is happening like this week or something. They're telling them not to travel. Don't go somewhere far.
Like,
Somebody
don't do
here is
anything.
going to Florida in 2 weeks.
Whoa.
just don't go. I mean,
She's nervous about it.
Yeah,
now.
I
it's
would be.
dangerous. It's
now, I
dangerous.
mean, the flight prices are down. My friend just booked a Puerto Rico flight round trip for $88,
Ugh.
but he's being smart. He bought it in advance while the price is low, but he's not going to take it for like 6 months.
yeah.
But I mean,
A lot of my
still, it's
friends,
just nuts.
a lot of my friends online who are from Puerto Rico are like, I'm moving back to Puerto Rico this week, so because the prices are so cheap too.
Yeah.
Um.
You can get our honeymoon done.
Thinking about it.
Yeah. You guys got a wedding coming up.
The funny part is
In
that
May.
we were planning on going to Italy for a honeymoon.
Ha.
Well, that's not
Guess
going
that's
to
not
happen.
happening.
They just closed all the churches in Italy,
Yeah.
which has never happened.
Right. Italy is like,
It's all churches.
Church,
yeah,
man.
it's all churches.
Vatican.
yeah, there's like one case in Vatican City.
Is there really?
Just one.
Oh wow.
There's only
because
one.
they're
It only
quarantined.
takes one.
There's only one resident in Vatican City, the Pope.
There was a rumor that he had it. Do you remember that on the news?
They even canceled all of his appearances.
Yeah.
All the concerts that were coming up are all canceled.
That's a bummer.
Like everyone's canceling their tours.
The movies, Fast and Furious 9 is supposed to come out. They postponed it for a year.
Oh, yeah, I
Holy
read
shit.
that.
They even
Shit.
postponed the filming of Riverdale.
Filming of Riverdale,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah,
great
you guys
show.
are
by the
really
way.
big into this Riverdale.
And,
Hey.
yeah, don't knock if you haven't tried it.
First of all, Ryan got us hooked. Let's
okay.
make that clear. It
But
wasn't
then also the
anything.
movie A Quiet Place as well is also postponed. It's supposed to come out in like the next 2 weeks, and they postponed that for almost a year.
Well, yeah, if you're
Maybe
gonna
this is
if you
good.
put a lot of money into these movies and promoting it and whatnot, and then it flops because of this,
Because nobody shows up. Yeah.
that would be a big waste. So yeah, I see shelving those for until this is quote unquote blows over. Who knows? Like from what I've been reading, like SARS like blew over by after a couple months. Once summer hits, once it's hotter out and everything, like it's hard for these viruses to live in sunlight and heat.
Yeah.
So during the winter, people get flus, and that's when it gets the heaviest and easiest to spread. So hopefully, and also they're working on a cure. They're working on a vaccine.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can really rush that. If you're throwing trillions of dollars into research, maybe you can get vaccines to market quicker.
Well, our graphic designer, Johnny DG, he messaged me last night on the news. They said the vaccine could probably take up to 2 years.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
there's a lot of like trials it has to go through and a lot of bullshit.
It's like
Right.
2 years. You know what can happen in 2 freaking years? Like,
I heard though by June things should be starting to mellow out
Yeah.
we never
because
know.
it's going to be warmer.
I don't think any like officials or like organizations are planning on a, vaccine in their plans. I don't know. It'd be great if we can get one sooner, but
We got to prepare for the worst.
yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're prepared and just don't do dumb stuff.
My bunker idea wasn't a bad idea a couple months ago. Now, was it?
I was just reading about how like all these mega rich people who have bought these end of the world bunkers, and like they're somewhere in the desert, like these underground bunkers that are like palatial luxury places where you spent $1 million to get in, and then you have to pay on top of that whatever, many million, not just $1 million. So they're all going to those bunkers now just in case.
It's like the vaults in Fallout. Oh, you guys don't play Fallout.
No.
Sorry.
it is
I know
we
what
don't.
it
Like
is.
a massive Fallout.
that 2012 movie with John Cusack when like they had these massive arcs
Oh,
that the rich people would they all paid enough money to get on these arcs, and they're just going to float on the ocean until the shit blows over. Like that's sort of what it is. All right, Anthony, thanks for swinging in.
Catch you later, guys. Stay
Adios.
safe.
Yeah, stay
Deuces.
safe, right? You guys, one thing that makes me less anxious about this, like this morning, I took a bunch of Koi CBD, no joke. Before I came to work, I was like, all right, I need to fucking mellow out because like just what's going to happen? Like what is going to happen? I was betting earlier this week, especially with all these closings. I was like, I bet we're not allowed to stay in this office for another week. I bet like they'd close us down at least mid next week, but it could happen today, depending on how this meeting goes. It's like on the borderline of might be happening. I think I'm gonna have to rent a storage space or something to like put my personal computers in just so I can bring these computers home.
I mean, like a lot of people in this office are a little older, so it's kind of like, we have to be cautious.
Yeah.
So we might have to work from home, and you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. And the beauty of the internet and podcasts is I have so much gear, and like it's all the same gear you listen to us now on. I'm going to be using at home, and we can Skype interview from home. So if anyone out there is in the CBD or cannabis space and also doing something to fight this coronavirus, or like has information or health tips or something like that, and wants to communicate and wants to like be part of the show, give us a call, 1-833-CBD gang. Our voicemail still will be active, and I can still access it from remotely. So call our hotline, 1-833-CBD gang. That's 1-833-223-4264. And you can remotely, I can get those messages remotely and we can include them in the show, or I can get back to you and then we can Skype and do full interviews.
No, we don't know what's going to happen in the near future with, sending out giveaways. We don't know if the mail carriers might say, look, we're not sending things out yet, or FedEx or UPS. It takes one bad truck.
Yeah, I think that
spread. So
our last 2 prizes might not go out. Like, I just haven't sent these last ones out yet. I would message them and be like, look, just because precautionary, they're yours, but right. We're going to put those. Are we still doing our 420 giveaways?
I guess we'll see what Wednesday.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
But
I'd be doing it from home, I guess. And it would be only on Instagram, not Facebook. But
if we have to postpone it,
yeah,
and just hype them up more, then I guess. But
and we'll just be collecting more CBD in that case to give away.
Videos are going to be halted.
Well, we're still trying to get them out 420. We're still trying to launch the YouTube channel on 420.
I mean, we have videos to launch, but new content.
Yeah, we're going to stop.
Halted.
We're stopping filming because basically, if we're not all together in the same room, how the hell are we going to set up shots and film? Our big 420 event we were going to have on 420 on April 20th, which would have been the year anniversary of what?
It was the 18th.
Oh, we were gonna have a big 420 party on the 18th of April in our Matamoros location of CBD Source, but that's getting canceled. So yeah, because we just can't have these big group meetings. We can't have this many people in one room, and we just don't want to. For the safety of the public, we don't want to spread any infections or us getting infected by the public coming in and meeting us and hanging out and trying CBD with us. The stores are all still open, obviously, and everything is
clean and
sanitized in the stores, so don't have to worry about that. But just things are going to be a little different. Like the world has changed because of this, at least for the time being. This is the first time in our lifetimes that something this massive has been spreading this quickly. And if you look at any timeline of Italy and where they are now with full lockdown and everyone's in their houses and quarantined and whatnot, and only the essential stores are open, that's where we are now was where they were a week ago. And you can see the escalation of deaths per day and infecteds per day. And that's where we're headed. And we have a much bigger population, and it could get really bad. I mean, they're saying like 60 to 70% of people could get infected. And of those, I don't know what the percentage is of actual deaths, but they're talking millions, possible millions, many millions, possibly like 10 million or more.
I worry about my grandmother. She's going to be 90 in 5 days. And she still has her license and still loves to drive because she's stubborn as hell. So she's still out there rolling around getting her groceries. And I'm like, Granny, you need to stay home. Like, this is serious.
Yeah, it's for real. I ordered masks like 2 months ago.
Wow.
They still haven't gotten here. They're going to be here somewhere between March 20th and April 10th or something like that, like because they've been back ordered. I tried to order toilet paper from Amazon the other day and it's all sold out, completely sold out. Every store I go to, there's no hand sanitizer. I'm sure you gang are running into the same stuff. We've got hand sanitizer all around the office here, so we're constantly putting it on. But I saw a news report last night, and they were saying, if you can't find hand sanitizer, don't try to make your own hand sanitizer. The best solution is just wash your hands.
Soap and
water, wash your hands. It's the same thing. It's actually more effective than hand sanitizer, for 20 seconds. So like if you sing the happy birthday song twice in your head while you're doing it, while you're completely soaping up, like when I was... like you're now packing Ryan's wound because he just injured himself again. But like when you're packing wounds, like you should always do that hand sanitizer, like not hand sanitizer, but actually washing your hands for the full 20 seconds. And
I sing the ABCs.
The ABCs?
Yes.
Okay. But that's how everyone should be doing it all the time now. Like always wash your hands. Like they're saying, drink warm liquids, like pretty steadily because you're constantly inhaling air. And if you can throw some warm liquid, wash it down, and your stomach will digest that. Digest any kind of stuff that's in your mouth just randomly. What else? What other stuff can we say precautionary wise?
I mean, I thought it was funny how they're saying that it's spread through like liquid, like body fluids, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be in the air. Like, honestly, how many people are
No,
getting
they
all
said
this?
it's also airborne.
Is it airborne?
Anything
It's not airborne yet. That's the next
No?
level
lives
contagion.
on the surfaces.
Yeah, it's little spittle that's coming out of your breath. They said like if you sneeze, it's like you have like a 12 or 10 or 12 foot radius that it'll before it hits the ground, it'll go out and project from you. So if someone sneezes, like this is why it would be scary to even get on the subway or like any kind of area where you're like in an Uber where you don't know who was sitting
They're
in
not
that
even
seat
closing
before
the
you.
subways down, they said.
They're not.
They're not.
Well, that's how most New Yorkers get around. Like, what do you do when, you can't get to everywhere that you need to go?
You can't close everything down.
Right.
Nothing would function.
Gonna
There's
be
still
mass
buses,
hysteria.
It's getting to where like, did you see pictures of Grand Central Station yesterday at like rush hour or whatever? Like it's practically empty, like empty. People are all staying home. Gas prices are dropping. They said it's going to get down to like $2 a gallon because nobody's going it. Everyone's trying to like stay locked up for their own precaution to not spread this. Yeah, it's pretty intense. So yeah, my brother's going to a wedding this weekend in Denver, and my parents, who are like 70, told him that when he comes back, like they can't see him for a couple weeks because they're hugely prone to get this at that age,
Of course.
So yeah, it's real. It's getting very real, and I'm worried about this meeting today. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll let you know after if we're going to be sticking it out here or if we're going to have to all work remotely. There goes Steve with the mask on. Like it's real, like it's very real. Anything else you want to say before we kick it over to this interview with Julie E? Listen, this second part of this interview with Julie E is actually really, really good, and you'll learn a lot about nutrition and all of that stuff. It's nothing touching on the coronavirus, so maybe it'll be a little break from that. I know you've probably been hit over the head with it so much in the last couple of days. And if you're listening to this in the distant future, and this is all a thing of the past, congratulations for surviving, and hopefully we all survived.
And if we didn't,
this will be a sad memoriam to like, we'll remember you.
Exactly.
It's so sad because there were four of us talking just now, and odds are one of us might get it. So unless we're just we're lucky. So
so just be cautious.
Be clean.
Yeah.
Wash your hands, be clean, shower. If you don't have to go out, don't go out.
Make sure you have rations for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, at least 2. I just bought on Amazon 2 cases of Slim Fast.
Oh my God.
Like those Slim Fast liquid bottles or whatever. Hold on. That came off. Yeah, I just bought 2 weeks worth. So like worst comes to worst, I lose a little weight and at least have enough calories in my body to survive the 2 weeks. But I mean, that's not worst comes worst. I should buy more stuff. Like I'm thinking canned goods,
unperishables. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff that can last. If you don't have good water, then get some like bottled water to stock up. I've got like a Brita system.
Yeah. Get a Brita. 'Cause right now the water is even being bought out.
Yeah. That's the thing. Those aisles in the stores where you see water and like even in the city, man, the city's the worst. Like I'm so glad I don't live in the city right now because all my friends from the city are posting pictures like there's no fresh meat, there's no fresh, like everyone's buying everything out. So
even the baby food section completely cleared out.
Oh my
one of
God.
my old coworkers was showing me a picture on her phone about, she went to get baby food for her baby and she's like, there's nothing, they're picked clean.
It's ridiculous. Hey, Akash, you want to jump on here for a sec? Jump on that mic. Akash, our CBD Guru.
Give a shout out to Brett.
Yeah.
Say, hey, Brett, it's Akash.
Yeah.
What?
Say, hey, Brett, it's Akash.
To my girlfriend, Brett.
Hey Brett, this is Akash. I have received your friend request, okay, and I accepted it.
She was excited that you accepted her friend request.
You got a fan.
Yeah, she's your biggest fan. So Akash, are you going to be able to work from home if that happens? If we have to work remotely?
Yes, I can. As long as I have my laptop with me, I can work from anywhere.
Okay.
An internet connection.
Yeah, it's a big thing. You need internet.
Yeah. Aside from being our CBD guru, Akash also works on our website too and everything. So helped design that.
Which the Cannabidiet site's coming along very well because he's the best.
Kicking some ass at it. All of our sites are getting developed. Have you been following the news on this, Akash, at all?
Yes, I've been following news all over the place, all around the world.
What's happening in India right now?
So it seems like probably media or government, they are not exposing certain information to citizens, because I haven't seen much exposure of coronavirus in India yet. Even though where I live, in that town, we don't have a single case.
Well, that's
of coronavirus.
If that's good, if there aren't actually a single case, but who knows? Maybe there are and they're just hiding it.
Maybe the cure is curry.
Oh shit!
it seems sketchy. It seems sketchy. Yep. The way, because it's spreading everywhere. Why not? Is there something special for India?
You guys are
what?
neighbors.
Well, India is such a packed country too. There's like 1 billion people in that one country.
Yep, definitely. So as far as I know, I read it. I think I have discussed with few of my friends as well who lives there, and they said there is no single case yet.
That they know of yet.
Yep, that they know of, are not in the news as well.
Well, damn, get a direct flight to India, man.
But no, they banned the travel for next 30 days.
Oh, India did?
Yep, India did ban travel for all the countries.
Wow, smart on their part.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, like that's what we should have done here.
I mean,
like
we only
shut
From
it
the
down.
jump.
We only banned what, to UK or Europe or something?
We banned to Europe, but not the UK, and Americans can come back and go. Like just not foreigners can come. It doesn't make any sense. Like we can go there, pick it up, and come back with it. Like why is that?
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Like what?
Should have just been all international airfare just shut down.
Yeah.
For the time being.
Yeah, it should just be let's keep everyone where they are.
Yep.
Everyone go to your house, stay there for 14 days, wait this thing out. And if 14 days goes by and this thing passes, because that's how long it takes to get out of your system, then it should pass, right?
Yep, definitely.
People would die and other people would get sick, but it wouldn't spread.
I agree. And one more interesting news is that all the embassies are shut off right now. You cannot get a visa or you cannot extend your visa right now in India.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
They have shut down visa process right now for all the countries.
Well, it's a good thing you're an American citizen now, man.
Yes, definitely. But don't forget, my daughter is in India.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Holy crap. That's got to be scary with your daughter in India.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Yeah. How old is she?
2 years and 4 months.
She's staying with your grandparents or your parents?
My
Her
parents.
grandparents, right?
Her grandparents, yeah.
Wow.
Thank you for not saying 28 months.
Well,
that's true.
Hopefully, how old are your parents?
In 50s.
Okay, so they're not too close to the scary range where it's like very lethal. Well, good luck with that, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Akash, for swinging in.
Another thing I was sitting here thinking about is soldiers overseas right now. You know, their absence could be up. Are they allowed to come home? It's another question. It's like
food for thought.
Yeah, I wonder if they would throw them in with the National Guard and make them do that at home kind of stuff. Because once the National Guard, once this is a national emergency, then the National Guard starts getting deployed to all these different towns where it's
National
really
Guard's already in New Rochelle. They set up yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin was telling us.
Even in the news, National Guard has already been deployed.
Well, one guy that got infected in Orange County is now in Newburgh in the hospital. That's the same hospital that Brett went when she had that seizure, not when she had the stroke and everything, but when she had that seizure. So it's pretty close to home. That's close. Yeah. Newburgh is 20, 30 minutes from me. So there's someone with coronavirus sitting in the hospital 20, 30 minutes from my apartment in New Paltz. So it's getting close. Have you heard any other stuff of outbreaks out here?
Orange Regional Middletown, I guess, had a case, and that's where Rebecca's sister is a nurse at.
Wow.
On the cardio floor too. On the
cardio floor, and since it's a respiratory issue, I'm sure it was on that floor.
Right.
So you never know. I mean, We love you, Les, but I'm not gonna see you for a while.
Don't see her for a few weeks.
Well, she was supposed to go on a cruise this month. I'm fairly certain that that's probably like postponed or something like that.
Yeah, like who's going on cruises right now? Unless if you're lucky, if you're lucky enough to get on a cruise that doesn't have one case, then you're actually like an island floating away from all of this.
Yeah, you're safe for a little bit.
Exactly. Like it's kind of one of those like during the zombie apocalypse, you're safe if you're on a boat and you have like unlimited supplies because you're not close to all the infecteds, which is what we're going to be seeing, a lot more infected people really soon. We're going to like brace for the worst, gang, because, I don't want to be gloom and doom, but like people are going to die. This is not a joke. This is a real thing. And once they declare it a national emergency, shit is going to change. I mean, it's already blowing up and it's coming to a town near you, which is really sad.
Like you see it on TV all the time. You see it in movies, you see it in video games. And then all of a sudden when you're actually living it, you're like, wow.
Yeah. And thanks to the internet, we see what's going to happen because we can see what's happened to Italy. So we know what's coming here. Not pretending that it's not going to happen is just living in denial of reality, because it's like it's almost like seeing a row of dominoes, and you have a telescope and you can see the dominoes way down the line that are falling, and just pretending, oh, it's not going to come here.
Yeah,
the dominoes are already set up and falling.
Don't be naive about it, people.
Yeah, like the main thing we can do now is try to kick out some of those dominoes in the middle to make sure it stops, or doesn't get to us by taking precautions, because we know it's coming, which is good. Because if we didn't have the internet and TV and all that and news and whatever, we wouldn't know that. So we can at least take steps now. So gang, we'll keep pumping these episodes out. I'm probably going to start going live more now that if I am quarantined to home or whatever.
If the episodes stop, then you start to worry.
Yeah, that's true. They might come out a little later, or they might come out earlier if that's mostly what we're focused on. We're not talking about CBD that much right now, but because this is like really scary stuff.
Uncertainty. It's not going to be like, oh, okay, go to your. I mean, yeah. Please continue to go to the stores, our stores.
Definitely. If you're running, this is something that they've been saying too. Like if you rely on CBD, which a lot of people do, if you do rely on it, or even if you think that you might be trapped in your house or apartment for 14 days or possibly longer, stock up on your CBD now. If you have a prescription, go get that medicine filled now, because the doctors and the pharmacists might not be there in 2 weeks. Like they might be sick at home, dying. So you want to get that, or the people who ship those vitamins or those prescriptions to that pharmacy might not be shipping anymore. Like the truck drivers, the roads might be closed. Who knows what's going to happen? It could be a complete lockdown. So get that medicine while you can. If you have prescriptions that you need filled, definitely get to pharmacies and pick that stuff up now, before you're locked out from being able to do it. And definitely get those rations, get enough to live on. Because right now in Italy, they're not even allowed to leave their house. Like the people who are quarantined, like people are bringing them food because they didn't think ahead or know that this would happen. And seriously, like 4 days ago, we were joking about this. On Monday, we were joking about this when you went, like you had like a little bit of surgery or something, and we were joking that you had the coronavirus. Now it's not a joke. No, now it's real. That's scary. That it could be, if you did have coronavirus, then we'd all be infected and it would be really bad. The chef was out yesterday and we were like joking about it, and now it's like, that's not even a joke.
Yeah, I'm not having lunch today.
Right?
Precautions.
He wasn't out sick. He had personal things.
Yeah, it wasn't. Luckily, it wasn't that.
Mm-hmm. If I had it, I wouldn't be saying, "Oh yeah, I was out because of the coronavirus."
Yeah, he's joking about it, but yeah, it's not funny when
you never know.
If we do have to work from home, what he's not going to be doing.
Yeah, it's sad.
Like there's some jobs here that can't be done remotely. So, all right, so 15 minutes, and then it's 11:30.
Yep, our meeting's at 11:30.
All right, then we'll find out what's happening, and we'll go from there.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Yeah, I'm hopefully later this afternoon going to be talking to someone who is all about incorporating marijuana and hemp into like the coronavirus, and how to like masks. The natural antibacterial agents of hemp could be used in so many ways, but it isn't right now. And for future viruses and things like that, like we should see how we can incorporate hemp into treating this type of stuff. But I'll talk to that guy later. His name is Matt. So maybe that'll be in this episode, maybe not, depending on if I get in touch with him in time.
Depends on what all happens at the end of the meeting as well.
Yeah, I might be doing that Skype from home, depending on what goes down. But anyway, gang, this has been a gloom and doom kind of intro to an episode, and this has been a fun little roundtable of some of the cast here at the CBD Source podcast, talking about how, what we're feeling and what's going on, what the environment is in the office right now, and what the steps we might be taking. Sorry about the cancellations of our events coming up. We just couldn't, there's no way to do it. And some of the vendors, we want to thank the vendors who were going to be involved with that. CBDMD, Koi, there were a bunch of CBD vendors that were going to be part of our event, and now, thanks to this, it's just not going to happen. For everyone's safety, we're not going to be doing it, but we definitely will be doing more live stuff once this passes. Once this is over. So, because we want to meet you, gang, and we want to be able to interview people live remotely, especially at conventions and trade shows and all of that stuff. So anyway, on a brighter note, we're going to go back to a time maybe a couple months ago or a month or two ago when I interviewed Julie E. This is part 2 of Julie E. And we're going to be talking about nutrition and CBD and how she incorporates CBD into her practice. Gang, let's give a big CBD Source podcast welcome, Julie E.
Gang, you're listening to the CBD Source podcast.
We're here with Julie E.
People come in with a list. They have 15 problems usually. They might come in with 2 problems, but when I analyze their body, there's really 10 or 15 things going on. Their digestion, their endocannabinoid system, they have a scar, they have an infection. There's a lot of things. So you
remind me of Dr. House, the really tough cases that doctors can't crack. They bring to him. It's these people you're the last step of what do we do? I've got so much stuff I don't even know what the hell's wrong with me. That's cool.
And I am hope and the last step for a lot of people. I've heard that word. I've heard that sentence many, many, many times. You are my last hope. I've been going through this for 2 years. I've been to 10 different specialists. No one knows what's wrong with me. And I always figure it out. They're not always willing to hear or to do.
Oh, no.
So I have or 99% of my clients improve, 1% drop out. So it's just
why do they drop out? It's too hard.
Because you have to take ownership for your health. I mean, my pills, we're a pill popping society. People like to take pills and they want instant gratification. When you take natural things, you don't always have instant gratification. Remember, we have to gut and build the foundation and then build the walls. So, some people have instant results and some people don't. And part of the healing process is feeling like crap sometimes, because there's this if they were taking the mercury out of their teeth and then they feel like crap for a few days because now their detox system is going through something.
Right.
In a similar fashion, if I find that their adrenals have a bacteria in them and I give them an antibacterial to take, they may not feel amazing while they're taking it. It's going to stir up an assembly line or a domino effect of things that happen, because the body has 12 totally different systems in it. So if you treat one and you're only treating one, it's likely you're going to have that domino effect and other things are going to show up. And the thing is, I have a dollar budget for people and a pill count budget. People are, if I diagnosed everything going on in someone, I may lay out 70 capsules or powders or fluids or liquids or soft gels or topicals.
Right.
And you got to do this every day if you want to fix everything. So it's my job to find the top 3, because that's all most people are willing to do.
Right.
And
otherwise you don't have room in your stomach for food. You just got to be taking pills.
Yeah. And so I try to get the things that they're going to get the most bang for their buck. And for some people, when I see their blah, 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 mind chatter, da, 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 they don't even stop. And I'm they rattle off, this is what's going on with me. Blah, 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 blah. okay, you talk. And I'm like, okay, that person needs CBD. Like, right off the bat, like versus somebody that may just, they already meditate, they go to yoga, they get massage, they sleep enough. Those people, CBD might not be on their first day.
Making your commute a little less stressful. The CBD Source Podcast.
Look, our universe is screwed, right? Everything is bad for you. There's pollution, there's smog in the air, there's pollution and smog in our food. Our body needs what it needs,
Right.
and we put on this earth as hunters and gatherers. We're supposed to go get the food and eat it. So we're supposed to eat salmon. Like, I don't care what vegetarians say. Like, we were built on this society, on this premise that we're going to eat what the earth is providing. It's just that everything is so polluted. So most people get their highest dosage of mercury from their dental fillings. So
Holy crap! I was just talking about that today. There's a guy here named Steve, and he was in Vietnam. He's older, and he was talking about he has mercury fillings, and he was having a crazy argument. This is seriously a conversation I just had over lunch. Having an argument with his dentist about how, like, this can't be good. I must be absorbing some of this mercury. And the dentist was like fighting him tooth and nail about it, that it was okay for you and it doesn't affect you and it doesn't get into your system or anything like that. So proof positive right here from you. Julie E knows. So what, I'll play this back for Steve. So what exactly happens with the mercury fillings? This is something that also, like, it dates you and me and like our generation, because there was someone else at the table who's like Tasha's 22. She was at the table and her fillings are all like white. There's no mercury, none of that stuff. Like, it's one of those giveaways when you watch a movie and someone like screams and it's like,
and you see their mouth.
You see the fillings. It's like, come on.
Right. That is one of, it's not a pet peeve, but it's a thing that makes me go, ooh, when someone starts talking and I see all their metal. Just like, I jump a little.
Right.
The American Dental Association says that mercury, and don't quote me on any of this, I try to just translate what's out there into the simplest thing, but I'm not going to quote anybody specifically. But the American Dental Association says mercury is absolutely toxic, and the dentist has to wear like a gas mask and practically a hazmat suit to deal with it, but it's totally safe in your teeth. So take that and do what you want with it. There's actually, if you look hard, and I might still have it, there's a 60 Minutes, the TV show, a whole thing on mercury and dental. And, like everything else, it's like a lot of lies. They, if they were to come out and make this big announcement that they figured out mercury is poisonous for you and
get it the hell out of your teeth.
Right. Like, it would be like anarchy,
Yeah,
so
like,
instead they bury it and they hide it and they say it's fine.
What if they did that? It would be like you have to rip it out of your teeth, just like asbestos removal. Like, this is, you have a poison in your body you're walking around with. If like, let's find out, because if it is true, like, what am I doing? Get these out of my friggin' mouth.
Exactly. So here's a little mini story with that. The white fillings, a lot of them also have metal underneath them.
Huh.
Mercury crosses the placenta. So when a woman is pregnant, if she has any fillings that chip or leak, because mercury's property is that it expands and contracts. So it can actually expand in someone's mouth and slightly crack the teeth that they don't even realize it's cracked until they realize it, right? Like little baby cracks.
Mm-hmm.
So mercury starts to get released into the body. A lot of times it's in the gums and the saliva and people don't realize it. And so it crosses the placenta. And I can say a lot of things about vaccines and environment and pollution and drugs and whatever, but like mercury crossing the placenta is like step one towards autism. Like,
oh man,
just think about that. Like all those other things, like, add on to it, but that's a big part of it. So my son is now 14 and a half. And so about 16 and a half years ago, I found a dentist that understood the truth about dental work. So I thought, and I got all my fillings. I only had 2, maybe 3 fillings most of my life. So I had them taken out, the metal. And when they do it, it's a very specific process. The dentist definitely has to wear like a gas mask. They like tie something kind of to block your throat so you don't swallow it, because they drill it out. It's like sawdust.
Mercury dust.
Yeah, it's mercury dust. And so then they have to have this like air filter so that it like sucks everything out. But the next day I had asthma. I literally had asthma the next day after. Like every time I was breathing, my lungs were like stressed. And then I go to work and I do this energy test and I have people help diagnose me. I fully had mercury in my lungs. Then
wow.
I took some nutrients to bind it. And the next day I had, or 2 days, whatever it was, 3 days later, I had mercury in my liver. Then I had mercury in my intestines, and then I had none. So it like even getting it taken out creates a mercury poisoning in your body somehow, in your nasal passage, in your head. And people really need to be aware that when they get it taken out, that's going to happen, and that make sure the dentist does the correct process. Because I see a lot of people for weird health complications. And then when I ask them, did you have, they go, oh, I got all my fillings taken out like 2 years ago. I'm like, oh, right before all your problems started.
Oh,
like,
wow.
It could be part of the cause.
Yeah, not everyone has like all of your know-how and like equipment and purple lasers and all that stuff. So how the hell would they know that it's in their liver now, or it's moving around their body? That they'd just be scared, like, oh, I have asthma now. This is great.
Right.
They'd check themselves into the ER. Can they test you for that stuff while you're in the hospital? I guess they could.
They can test, but what happens is that if it's been in your body for a long time, it won't show up on a lab test. Like if it's like buried and stored somewhere.
Right.
So a lot of people get these hair analysis or other kinds of analysis, and it says that they have no metals. And they're like, I don't understand. I felt like I had heavy metals. But if your liver and your kidneys and your body aren't in like a good detox mode, which I can also explain, then the body won't even show the mercury. And so it's buried, and people go, oh, and they move on to the next topic. Again, those are people that will show up in my office because they're like, no one can figure out what's wrong with me. And I'm like, oh, you have heavy metal toxicity, but we can't treat it yet. First, we have to get like your body into a place where when I say detox, I think of going back to the car scenario, an oil change, right? You can think, holy crap, my car's not working. It's not running well. I hope it's not $1,000. And you bring it to the mechanic and they do your $30 oil change. And now your car's fine. And you're like, oh, wait, it sounds fine. Thank God it was only $30. In your body, your detox system can be super clogged and thick like that heavy oil. And so if you just change your oil in your oil pan, like you're like, oh, I feel better. But it's a lot more complicated in the human body than it is in the car. It's got a handful of organs involved in the picture.
This episode of the CBD Source podcast is sponsored by
Catskill Hemp Co. The CBD Source podcast broadcasts from New York's Catskill Mountains, and it's great to finally be able to unveil our own line of CBD and CBG flower. You can purchase Catskill Hemp Co. brand flower at any CBD Source location in New York or Pennsylvania. You can find a CBD Source location nearest you on CBDSourceCenter.com. If you're a proprietor of a retail shop that sells CBD or CBG products and would like to carry Catskill Hemp Co.'s 3 strains of top-shelf smokable hemp flower, Hawaiian Haze, Sour Space Candy, or CBG, you can buy direct from us wholesale by just going to CatskillHempCo.com and scrolling down to the bottom. Thanks again, gang, for supporting the show.
Hey gang, you're listening to the CBD Source podcast. You'll find links to all of the show's social media, including Cole's personal Instagram, on our website, cbdsourcepodcast.com. The CBD Source podcast resumes now.
Your liver, gallbladder, kidneys, intestines, and lymph, that's your detox system. And I call it the assembly line. So that's, it's an assembly line because if your kidney is not working well or tired, or remember that earlier that talk about vitamin C, if you don't have enough vitamin C for your kidney to function, now your kidney is going to be sluggish. And when your body breathes in that mercury because you're getting your dental fillings taken out, it's going to get stuck in the kidney. The kidney's not going to filter it out all the way.
And then it can get stuck there for like ever.
Forever, yeah. And then you go, oh, I have back pain. I don't know why my back hurts, and stressed out, and then your hip hurts. And so you have to treat your assembly line. And I know you said earlier, everyone doesn't have the knowledge I have, but I put a lot of free downloads on my website, and I pump a lot of information out in videos. I have like an entire YouTube channel coming, and all my social posts. I try to educate people on like the simple things, like these things. This assembly line, I have a download for maybe it's like $2 on my website called Tapping and Swiping. And if you tap your organs, it's kind of like you're working them out. So you can tap your liver, gallbladder, kidneys, intestines, and lymph. And it's like you're beating the dust out of a pillow. You're like, you're getting the dust to come out of storage into your blood and your circulation. And then you can literally like swipe and breathe or shake it out. And you've just given your assembly line a major healing in like 2 minutes.
When you say swipe, she was just like swiping her hand down her arms kind of thing. For people who can't see this, if you're just listening.
Yeah, like you're wiping dirt. Like you take your right hand on your left shoulder.
Shoulder all the way down.
Yeah, and you got to do all 360 degrees of the arm. And for parents, I'll have them like have their kids swipe and like get up and dance and shake and get a little crazy for a minute or two.
Uh-huh.
It's like a workout for your organs. And then it flushes out all the toxins that are like ready to come out of you.
Okay.
So I could give everybody CBD at every appointment. I have a 5-year-old who's probably bought more CBD than 10 other clients put together.
Wow.
Because
what's wrong with what's wrong with
him? There's, I think that there's like vaccine overload. Like there's a lot of toxins in those. He had a trauma to his chin, he had trauma to his forehead, which also is the pituitary. And kids today just have a lot of issues. It's, they get 26 vaccines by the time they're 5 months old or 6 months old. And all of those have a lot of heavy metals and a lot of weird stuff in them. And some people are fine and others are not because we're all different. So then all those traumas, all those dents and falling and hitting. And the mom says when she was pregnant, she ended up finding some mold. So he just had a lot of exposure to things. And but what on a daily basis, what it is that kid does not sit still. And then he was shaking when he's sleeping. Like the mom said, she watches him and he's like twitching the whole entire night. So he wakes up easily. So one of the Band-Aid remedies that we used at first while we're treating the real issue is we were just pumping CBD into him at night. And she's like, are you sure I'm not drugging my kid? Is he sleeping? Do you want him to sleep? Like we're getting him to sleep. And this is way more natural than anything a medical doctor could give him to sleep. And it's calming other aspects of the body. So it's allowing the body to heal. So of course, it's a great thing. Huh. That makes sense?
Yeah. How much CBD would you say that he was on?
He's probably only getting about, the pump is 3, 5. He's probably getting about 10 to 12 milligrams a night. But then there were nights where she had to give him more than usual.
How much do you recommend for your average client? Usually.
Again, part of it comes down to their pill count or if they're going to use a pump or a liquid or, I don't really measure the milligrams in the topicals because that to me is a little bit insignificant. It's great. It's significant, but I don't count it. Mm-hmm. And so I would say that probably 30 milligrams would be like my baseline for somebody. Mm-hmm. And for some people, I think that's where I would have them start. The average person, the average adult would start at 30 milligrams. And then
once a day or twice a day, or how does that work?
If they're brand new, I have them start with 15 milligrams. So that's because the soft gels that I use the most in my practice, it's one of the products that I sell the most. And it's a soft gel for 15 milligrams. So people count and they're like, that's one. And then they're taking 3 other vitamins. That's like enough for them, So, and then they're worried, they're concerned. How is this going to make me feel? So I always have people slow and steady wins the race. So I'm like, start with 1. And then if you feel nothing, 2 hours later, take another one. And if you still feel nothing, take another one. So they might go up to 45 milligrams, but
they titrate up.
I usually almost everyone titrates up, but I have a client, a female who is going through a separation right now. And she's taking at least 60 milligrams a day. Like that's her baseline. Like start with 30 in the morning, 30 midday. And if he drives you crazy or you have issues, take more.
That's funny.
It's kind of how I do it. I use it for people as a tool. Like if you feel fine and then you get a phone call and you're like freaking out about something, a work thing, a kid thing, a house thing, then you take another one until you go, and you just like have this nice calm breath. Like when your body's in that calm place, that's when your body's healing and getting better and getting healthier and stronger. You have to be in that still point. And the mind chatter place that most people live in, healing doesn't happen when you're there.
Do your ears enjoy listening to the CBD Source podcast, but you wish there was something for your eyes to do? Subscribe to our YouTube page for exclusive video content you can't see with your ears.
still point is the space between two breaths.
I never heard of the still point thing, but I like it.
So let's do this together, and your audience could do this. Okay.
All right, gang. You're going to try this at home with me. All right, we're going to do this breathing thing. I'll turn my mic up so we get a little ASMR on this. Okay.
So I'll walk you through it. So just take a big breath in.
Through your nose or mouth? I want to make
through
sure.
Your nose.
All right.
Through your nose. Big breath through your nose, and then exhale through your mouth. That one's just like the practice.
Okay.
Now take a big breath in and hold it. Big breath in. And then hold your breath. And just keep your breath in. I'd rather not talk, but keep your breath in. And then exhale. And then once your breath is all the way, once your breath is out, hold your breath. Hold your breath. And then do that again. I'm going to ask you to do something next time. Take a big breath in. Hold your breath in and try to think about something on your to-do list. And then breathe out. When your breath is all the way out, hold it again. Hold your breath out, hold your breath out, hold your breath out, and try to think of something on your to-do list. And then one more round. Big breath in. And hold your breath. And go back to see if you can even have a thought. And exhale, last one. And hold your breath out. Can you even have a thought? And then just come back to normal.
Yeah, you're right. It's tough.
Your brain is like, I should think about something. What should I think about? It's like, and if you do that enough, if you just did that and you had thoughts and you can think of your to-do list, you didn't get to still point yet. You have to do that breath a few more times.
How many times do people usually do it? Just those like 3 or 4 times?
Well, I teach it to people. I'll have them do it 3 or 4 to try to get them to see if they get to that place. But my laser brings people instantly to still point.
I want that laser.
The laser is amazing. After you do yoga, when they have you in Shavasana, like when people, I don't know if that's something you or your audience experience, but when class is over and you have to like get up and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to get back to my real life? You're in still point, like you're just out. Or after a massage, that's still like when you're in this, like you need like an extra 20 minutes before you need to go somewhere. That's the healing state that we are supposed to live in.
Oh, I love that state. Like for me, the best way to get to that is sitting in a steam room with a like cold shower in the steam room. And like you're getting the super hot and the nice cold and you're just like totally in the moment. I love that. And I guess not in the moment at the same time.
And I would say CBD is still point in a bottle if you take the right dosage.
There's your book title. It's a book title in the future, maybe. Who knows?
Right. Yes. And the problem, I wanted to just add on to that. One of the problems with CBD, it's not really with CBD, it's the users. It's a user issue, is most people don't take enough. Most people do. I have people call me and they're like, I'm taking 350 milligrams and CBD doesn't work for me. I don't feel anything. Like when I tell them I want to put them on it, then the problem is, if you're taking 350 milligrams, I think they're taking an isolated and it's not the full hemptourage and they're not getting all the benefits. So that's one thing. There are certain products that I think don't work for certain people, but I also find the most common thing I find is people don't take enough milligrams, enough of a dosage or often enough. They tried it once or twice and they're like, I don't feel anything. And I already said earlier that I have people that might not feel anything, but I see the improvement in their health from visit to visit. I see their digestion coming into place. I see their sleep coming into the right place, their adrenals. So they may not feel or quote unquote feel anything, but it is always working.
Episode 40, we just did an episode about terps. And I was talking to Omar Salem of Salem Labs, and he was all about that. He was saying like he wants CBD prices to come down cheaper so people can take a lot more, that people aren't taking the right amount. He's like, some people need 1 gram of CBD, like some people really need a lot, 1,000 milligrams or something like that. Who knows? Maybe people do. Like you're just not taking enough.
TheCBDGang.com, the official subreddit for fans of the CBD Source podcast. Questions, answers, CBD gangsters. at karma. That sweet, sweet karma.
The other thing I was going to say was a lot of people also will buy like over the internet CBD, or like they'll buy it at a gas station. There might not be any CBD in that. You know what I mean? Like no one's checking.
Right.
So they might be consuming all this, what they think is CBD, and they're like, this shit doesn't work for me. It's like you might have just had, 10 milligrams when you thought you were having 400 milligrams or 0. You never know.
Recently, I was at a conference where an independent lab that does the analysis of vitamins, and this is more vitamins, but I think it applies to CBD. They analyze, people send their vitamins to this lab so that they could tell you what's in it and make the label. 50 to 60% of the products have pharmaceuticals, end-chain hormones, and plastic, paint, and other toxins in the products.
Whoa.
So last year there were about, from what I've heard, you might have a better statistic, like 25,000 new CBD companies on the market.
Wow.
And I think only like 1 or 3% passed like good manufacturing stuff. Anyway, so I'm just thinking
GMP
how many,
or whatever.
Yes. So I'm just thinking how many products out there that people are taking that have more toxicity than good, or like you said, where did you get it? Like you need to find a source that you trust and where they have clean products, or they do testing and they can tell you for sure, here's the independent third-party assay, and you know what you're taking, and stick with them. And every year or so, or every 6 months, check back in and make sure they keep their quality up. So I think that that's part of the issue when people are taking doses and they're not getting a benefit, is there might not be any CBD, or there may be more toxicity than CBD.
Yeah, like hemp is a total phytoremediator, and it just sucks toxins out of the ground. It sucks metals and whatever's in the ground around it. So like it's really important that you know that they've been lab tested, that there's not these like carcinogens, toxic stuff, metals. You know what you're consuming. Like this is why eventually FDA will make sure that we have rules and standards in place on what you're putting in your body as far as hemp goes, probably CBD and stuff like that, because it is scary in a way for some. Like people will buy stuff off the internet, not know what the hell's coming to their house, or they'll go and buy something at a gas station or like somewhere you think it might be safe, and then like sitting right next to the dick enlargement pills on the counter, you're buying your CBD. Like this might not be the best way to get your product, is what I'm saying.
I agree. I want to say something else about the milligrams that people are taking, and how you commented that some people might just need a lot more.
Yeah.
Every single body on this planet is totally different. And then what everyone's doing is different, and where they're living is different. Like the amount of exercise, the amount of vitamins, the amount of nutrition people are taking in on a daily basis is different. And so if you were taking vitamins A through Z and eating a well-balanced diet, it's possible that you can be great on 60 milligrams of CBD a day. But the exact same if all you eat is broccoli and you don't eat protein or fat or other nutrients, and broccoli would be an extreme. But let's say the only thing you ate was broccoli, you might need like 3,000 milligrams of CBD because you're not getting all this other balance in with you.
Wow.
Or you on a totally different day going through like there was a death of a loved one, or, going through a divorce, or even a wedding, like all of those stressful scenarios, you in your same exact body might need so much more. So the week that I had a family reunion on a Saturday, that whole entire week, I took 8 of these milligrams. I'm just going to do the math really quickly. So I took 8 of these 15 milligrams. Oops. So 8 times 15. I took 120 milligrams a day for 7 days, and the day of a family reunion, when normally I feel fantastic on 30, I felt the exact same. I didn't feel any better. I wasn't wasted or I felt exactly the same on 30 milligrams one day and 120 on a different day.
Wow.
So it completely depends.
Just to get to the same like ground level of CBD, you had to take way more. Wow. That makes sense.
because of what's going on in your life and your body.
You know what? You're making me think about all these events in my life that I wish I knew about CBD at that time. Like the weeks leading up to as an artist, the weeks leading up to a gallery show are like so stressful getting the stuff done.
Yeah.
Or like, deadlines, things like that. Like if you had CBD, if I would have had CBD at those times, I would have been so less stressed. I would have been
Totally
so more
less
cool
stressed.
with it. Like, yeah, it would have been just like, all right, I got this, chill. Because like right now when deadlines are all coming on me, if I have CBD, it's like, yeah, cool, I got it. Like I can easily prioritize things. I can figure out what's important, figure out when to do what. It just makes life a lot easier for me personally. I don't know if that affects everyone the same way, but for me, like there's a lot of times that in your life you look back and you're like, I wish I would have known about this, or I wish that was a thing back then,
Absolutely. And it not only takes the edge and the stress off, but it really makes the clarity great. I've had numerous, especially female, but even a couple of male clients, I've had them like really get clear on what they want in their life and what's not acceptable or who's not acceptable or what they want at their job or what they're not getting. Just I've watched people evolve from using more CBD or taking more CBD, like as part of their nutrition program, their mind body connection and their actual life and their job or their income has improved because they've gotten super clear. Like I call CBD a teaching nutrient. It's like when you take it and then you get quiet, you could see yourself more. And you can start to go inside yourself more and figure out what I really want out of life. That's pretty deep and big.
No, that's great. That's great. I've done some weird experiments with CBD and THC together where, it's not even an experiment. It's just I did them. And then it was like, oh, wow. Like I'm in writing mode or something. Like I will just lie there and write for hours and just thoughts come to me that normally would not be coming to me. And, like a lot of people say, oh, well, afterwards, did you look at it and it's just bullshit? And it's like, no, it's really deep, good stuff. Like it's solid material that like I'm putting together these things from different parts of my life, or like I see something in a movie and then it relates to all these other things. And then I'm, like connecting the dots in weird ways that I normally wouldn't. So it's kind of neat to like see what your mind is capable of when you just add a little bit more clarity through the adding some cannabinoids, something that, 10 years ago wouldn't even be an option, really. Like there weren't weed strains that had that much CBD in it to do that kind of effect. It just didn't exist. Like thanks to genetics of like creating better hemp and better THC, you can now do these things. It's kind of like we're in the right time for it. We're in the early stages of it where we don't really know. Like maybe 10 years from now, you'll just take a pill that will be like, here's your writing pill. This is the exact dose of what you need from the exact strain with the like certain terpenes that are going to do this for you. You know exactly what works for you. We're not there yet. Soon, hopefully, but it's kind of cool to be on the very ground level of this and seeing it, like you said, jumping from whatever it was initially, 2 years ago to how many CBD brands are out there now. A lot of people's lives are going to be improved by this. It's kind of the overall positivity of humanity might go up a notch. You know what I mean?
We need it. Yeah. And we need it so badly. It's an interesting, thankfully, and thank goodness or God or whoever you preach to or pray to, it's like, thank God we have CBD because we have so much stuff going in the wrong direction that it's such this weird, I don't know if dichotomy is the right word, where we have all this stuff going down. And at the same time, everyone's going up because of their CBD. They're getting more clear, more conscious, more into themselves, more into what really works for them, and more into their purpose or their joy or, their peacefulness. And I think it's 100% true.
I love
Absolutely.
it. I totally agree with that. It's like, every time weird shit is happening in the world or things are getting worse or whatever, like who knows, maybe it's always been bad or weird and we're living in this time, so we're taking it in and thinking, oh, it's woe is me, but the climate and all that stuff, but also every year more states are legalizing for THC, and CBD just went nationwide, last year, like fully legal for, crossing state borders, all that, whatever. So things are really changing as far as access to cannabinoids and understanding what they can do. So that to me is a huge positive, like you're saying, like it really is huge as far as people being able to have access to it and see what this plant can do for them.
Absolutely. And I think that what you were saying about how clear you get with your writing, like it's because when you take all the mind chatter away, when you get, I bring it back to that calm, peaceful, I think some people might call it like beta brain or theta brain or, still point. It's like you're focused, like you don't have like the to-do list running in the background or tomorrow or yesterday. You're just like, you're present.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called the present, because it's a gift. You're like in it and you're just like clear and focused on what I got to do right now. And therefore you get the job done. And I did want to mention one other thing that I have read this and I have heard this because I worked for a CBD company and I've taught a couple of webinars. So they've taught me a bunch of things. There were 26 pharmaceuticals in the early 1900s at the turn of the century. There were 26 of them that had CBD in them. And then pharma took them out.
Oh, wow.
Guess why?
Why?
Because they don't want you well. They want you on their drugs.
Yeah.
If people were on, if CBD, that's what's also weird and interesting about our current time of like how much pharma is trying to take over everyone's life, but they're not part of CBD and yet it's growing.
There's no money in cures.
Right.
You get the one paycheck and done. They want to keep you maintaining, they want you maintained.
Right.
You get you on the comeback, right?
Exactly.
That's totally true. Yeah. I think that I don't remember where I heard it or read it. Maybe another podcast or something, but about how, like before the turn of the century time period or whatever, before hemp was illegal and cannabis was illegal, like that was part of everyone's life. Everyone grew it. You probably used it just as part of, in your food or whatever. Like everyone was absorbing it. Everyone was taking it in, and it was part of people's diet, that kind of thing. And it went away for, you had this block of time where Americans didn't have access to this thing that everyone had. Everyone grew. And then we just got hit with all this shit, like diseases, obesity, blah, 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 one after another. And now it's starting to come back and be like, oh, there was this thing that we used to all have access to, and now it's coming back. And maybe it'll start helping turn things around. I don't know. We'll see.
Full circle, like everything, back to the 4 food groups, back to like sleep is important, back to family, like everything goes full circle, I think.
Yeah. French fries are still not on that pyramid though.
Yeah. I mean, they are on the pyramid. That's the problem. Right. They're not necessarily good. They don't count as a vegetable in my opinion, but they're a potato. So they put them on there.
I think that's the way that they can get away with serving kids the cheapest meal possible. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Sick.
It is sick. It is sick. Well, I'd like to say that as far as CBD goes, people just should dip their toe and try it. People that are afraid to use it during the day because they don't know how it will make them feel, take it at night. I have a lot of people that take it before bed because it makes them sleep great, but it stays in your bloodstream for 24 to 48 hours. So it still helps them tomorrow, and they don't have to worry about taking it during the day. And if you're afraid it's going to affect your sleep negatively, then take it in the morning or take it in the afternoon. You could take it with food. You could take it without food. It really just doesn't matter. It just matters that you try and that you pay attention to yourself, because I can't live in your body. Like, you are the only person that lives in your body, and you are the only person that can decide, this is working for me or this is not, and edit it. And if you really want to try CBD because you're listening to this podcast on a regular basis and you hear all these amazing benefits and it's not working for you, try a different brand, try a different delivery system, try a different time of day. If you're taking it on an empty stomach, take it with a full stomach. Try it with the oil, try it before or after exercise. But you just have to try, because it's going to be different on different days. And I call it your today body, because your today body today, if you're taking care of it and improving it, like most people listening are, should be different than your today body 3 months from today, because you've done things, you've exercised, you've eaten better, you've changing your body. So also remember that what you need or your dosage today might be different in a month from now or 3 months from now. That's kind of what I would say about CBD. I could probably talk more about it, but I think that in terms of nutrition, to just leave people with a few tidbits, there's no one diet that works for everybody. Every single person is different, and your body is different, as I said, on a daily basis. So just be intelligent. You were given a brain, figure out if this works for me or not. But we talked earlier about the fist is your carbohydrates, the palm is your protein, the rest of your plate is vegetables, and then you put some oil on top of that and some pink salt, and just eat in a balanced way. If you eat all carbs one day, eat all vegetables another. Just find a balance and find a rhythm, because whenever you're doing anything in extreme, then I would call that all. And when you're not doing all, most people do none. And I think some of the time is always going to give you way better results than all or none. If you do something well, like even when I put a client on a program that's customized to their body, if they do it 80% well, they're going to improve. So stop putting so much pressure and stress on yourself to be perfect and or follow a diet exactly. I had a hard time even writing a recipe book because I don't want to tell you exactly how much to use. I want you to just eyeball it and make it easy. So, just go with what feels right in your body. If you're pooping every day a couple of times, if you're sleeping, if you have vision and focus and clarity, you're doing well. And just move your body and eat balanced and live balanced. And if you're not doing something, just add it in. If you don't have time to exercise on a regular basis, once or twice a month is way better than none. So you just have to put one foot in front of the other and just as if you're standing at the bottom of a giant staircase and you think you have to get all the way up there. That seems so far away. But if you do a little bit and take one step up, you could feel 1,000 times better. So don't stress yourself out that you have to get there. And definitely don't think you have to do what your friend is doing, because you guys are totally different. So
that's great advice. I have a couple of follow-up questions. This is a nutrition question because I've never even seen a nutritionist, I don't think. If
you've seen one,
I've seen one now. I'm taking advantage of this. If someone, say you were, you're trying to get in shape or whatever, this is from past memories, but I'd be trying to get in shape, blah, blah, blah. I've got this ice cream in the freezer or whatever. Would it make more sense to eat all the ice cream today or have a little bit of ice cream every day for a week until it's gone? What's better for you? What's better for your body?
That's actually a funny question because it's an example I use all the time, but I use cookies. Okay. But we'll do it with ice cream. If you have one bite of ice cream every day, you will have less impact on your body, less negative impact than if you ate a lot in one sitting.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's the answer to that question. The other thing was, I was thinking when you were talking about your body now or whatever, and then a month
today
from now,
body,
your today body, right? Say with women's menstrual cycles and stuff like that. Does your CBD intake change depending on what time of the month it is, and how close you are to your period and all that stuff?
Definitely.
How does that work? Because this is something I have no clue about. So maybe you can enlighten some people, because there's a lot of women listening who probably don't even think about this, that your period might change how much CBD your body needs.
Yeah, well, first of all, instead of taking Advil for your cramps, take more CBD, and you might even use a topical. That's a good time to use a topical on the belly and the ovaries area, from the navel down to your groins. I would cover that area. So it's an individual thing. I don't think that I can give one prescription of what to do around your cycle, but because everyone's cycle's screwed up anyway, because of all the hormones in our diet and all the hormones in our environment, people's cycles are so messed up. But I think that the week before you start your cycle, or the week before you bleed, generally, most people have more anxiety and more stress and more sleep issues. So it would be the week before where I would start to increase the CBD. And as soon as you know you're a little grouchy or a little tired or something's off, that's when I would increase it. So it would just be part of what we've talked about all day, which is when you feel a little more stressed, take some more. But you could program it into your calendar so that the week before you're upping your dosage. But many people have intense cramps. I can go through 11 months and not even know my period's coming that day and not have a cramp, and then 1 month be hurled over. Because And that's because the parts of your body that are involved are the liver and the adrenals and the ovaries and the uterus. And I'm always doing things to heal and improve. So on any given moment, there's something stuck in one part of my assembly line. So it just depends on if you did a detox program or you just did a healing thing or you went on some yoga retreat, like you're going to have a different cycle that month than you did the month before. So you just have to go with whatever you feel. Like I would leave it up to like stress, anxiety, irritability, and depression. Those are all symptoms of liver gallbladder overload and toxicity or stress. And that would increase my dosage of CBD. And I think it happens where I've seen it in myself and a lot of people. You take in the CBD and 5, 10, 15 minutes later, it's like you just see sort of the breath change or the heartbeat changes, or there's just there might be a yawn. That's when stuff is opening in your body, or there's just like an instant I think that like THC smokers, it's like when you breathe out and you go, like that kind of happens after the right amount of CBD when your body is like going into that still point happy place. And I would just say, look for that. Take what you need until you find that place. That's the happy place. That's the calm place. That's the place where your whole nervous system goes into like a little gel mode, and every single part of your body is going to function better at that place.
Nice.
Making your workout less pain, more gain. The CBD Source Podcast.
For athletes, I would always recommend listening to your body. You can take CBD before, or you could take CBD after you work out. Because if you're working out and you didn't take CBD, but you took it yesterday, it's already in your bloodstream. So you still have some. There are moments where CBD has made somebody feel tired, and I think that people are not motivated for that reason to take it before they work out. But you got to ease then into your workout, and then when you're in it, you're going to have sharp, clear focus. So I think for some athletes, I would have them take it right before, because it will help them get into the zone. And if they're having like a sluggish day, try the CBD right before you work out to get into it. And if you're really sore after, CBD is not usually one of the things that I recommend for recovery. I usually recommend minerals and hydration as my first recovery choices. It would be coconut water, and it would be lots of greens or some kind of a mineral supplement. But if you are stressed out or achy and tight, of course, like why not take more CBD? Because all of those things are going to prevent you from feeling your best. If you're achy, sore, or you have like this one tight thing, your body's going to say, I'm going to take all your vitamins from your elbow, your knee, and your pec muscles that you just worked on, and I'm going to shove them to that tightness. And and then everyone else is going to be depleted. So I would rather you be just in this calm body where every part of your body is getting nutrition. So CBD, when, if this is twitching and you take CBD and now it's like
one part
calm.
of your arm is twitching or something, you're saying?
Yeah. So why not get that calm so that everybody can get balanced?
Nice. Yeah. Just localize right on that. Knock that out and then get back to normal. That's cool.
Yes. And you can do a little topical on there too.
Gang's all here. The CBD Gang. Give the show a call at 1-833-223-4264. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG.
That made me think of other women issues. This is something that I think it's probably controversial. Nobody knows the exact answers.
Pregnancy.
Yeah. So like with pregnancy, and when a woman is pregnant, or whatever, breastfeeding, that after you've given birth, like is CBD, THC, like is it good? I know my mom was like smoked weed every day when I was in the womb. I know that for a fact. And my whole childhood I was in a haze of THC smoke. So, I mean, I turned out okay, I guess. But weed was a lot different back then. I mean, it was probably like 2% instead of 20% THC. So it's a different plant practically now. We're talking about like in the 70s. Well, but like so now, what's the common knowledge, or what do you tell people who come in that are pregnant, or they're nursing or whatever? Like, what's the deal with not just THC but also CBD?
Right. Well, so when you're pregnant or when you're nursing, in the world, in the medical and the fitness and the health world, they'll always say, if you were doing it before, keep doing it. But now is not the time to start something brand new. So that I would kind of say that as a blanket statement. So they're talking about like working out, like don't get pregnant and 5 months pregnant and decide I'm going to start an exercise regimen. Like it's not that, be a little more gentle. If you are, it's like gentle yoga, breathing, like moving and gentle stretching. So I would kind of say that as my sort of blanket statement.
You don't want to start professional bodybuilding like second trimester.
Yeah, it's not going to work. Exactly. But so the thing is that people are drinking coffee every day. People are taking Tylenol. People are taking Advil, and people are drinking wine when they're pregnant and nursing, and their doctors are telling them it's fine. So like CBD, it's like, I'm using my hand, I don't know if anyone see, it's like one or the other. Like CBD is going to be, if it's a clean source and it doesn't have pesticides and fillers and junk and pollution in it, it's going to be way healthier than any of those other vices. So like, I think we all need a vice of some sort. We need something, right? Like there are, instead of binge eating, we need something to like bring us to this happy place. And
do you consider CBD a vice?
I mean, in a way it is a vice, because if we can get people off of some of their other vices onto CBD and feeling happy and joy, then you're using it to get to a certain place. Like vitamins even would be a vice if I kind of classified them all that way. Because the reality is we have receptor sites for CBD in our body. So you need it. I call it a superfood. I think it's a superfood. So you need kale or spinach, you need CBD. So I would just say, don't take this at face value. If you're a listener, I'm not giving you customized advice. Talk to your own
official medical
practitioner.
Advice here. This is just your opinion.
Exactly. An opinion, but I would say that like it's probably okay, but just talk to whoever your person is or your practitioner and just check in, like you don't have any contraindications that are specific. But I would say if I was going to be pregnant right now, I would definitely be taking CBD. I have clients that are pregnant and nursed all the way through with CBD, because what's the alternative? The alternative is you're having disruptive endocannabinoid system. Your adrenals and your hypothalamus are out of whack, which means that you have more stress, which means you need a higher nutrient intake. And if you're not taking it in, now you're depleted. Like, so the more stress you have, the more nutrition you need. And, if CBD can take the edge off of that stress and you can function on, 500 milligrams of vitamin C instead of 50,000, and you're going to take that in, you're actually going to be more healthy and more satiated with nutrients and more balanced. So I look at it from that perspective of what it takes out of your body so that you can function better. So from that, and as a mom, I can say the first 5 months, the last trimester of pregnancy was hard. I think part of the first trimester was hard. And the first 5 months of your baby's life was incredibly painful. You don't have time to sleep or eat or shower, or you think, oh, let me do that. And then the baby wakes up and that was your time. So it's like this ongoing stress, and it never ends because they're your child for the rest of your life. So why not stay calm? You're going to be a better parent when you're calm, and you're going to feed your child better, and you're going to be better at sleeping. So I like it all the way through life, really, basically. And I always say the mom is the metronome of the family. So if the mom's like this, that's what the whole family is going to be like. But if the mom's like, la, 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 like this is all good, I slept, I feel good, they're going to make more milk and their baby's going to be healthier.
I read that like early on too, your breast milk actually has endocannabinoids in it that's like transferred to the baby, like that's in you. Like,
I was just going to say they're probably going to, every 2 or 5 years they come out with, oh, we just found a new nutrient in breast milk. So it's like, I'm sure they're going to find it one day.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Because pharma's going to want to put it in the formula.
Right.
So they're going to hunt for it.
Exactly. But would you say when you were pregnant, would you have rubbed like a, say if you had sore stomach or a sore breast or something, would you have put like a topical CBD on that, or was that too far? I
might, but I used coconut oil on a daily basis and a lot of coconut water. I'm nutritionally sound. I'm balanced. So I did whatever I need if I'm out of balance, again, going back to that seesaw, if I tip the scale a little bit one way, I'm in tune enough with my body to go, what do I need, and come back to neutral. But 99.9% of people out there are totally out of balance in one way or another. So whatever it is that can help bring them back to balance, I think is a good thing. And if it is rubbing a little CBD on their belly or their low back, I would rather stay away from right where the baby is. But even so, there's like 20 pounds of fluid in there. The baby's not right next to your skin, you know? So, but most people have back pain. I would see they could probably use a little bit on their back, but I would also use castor oil because that also therapeutically heals the kidneys or the lower back. I used coconut oil topically, and I don't have even a millimeter of a stretch mark. And I also hydration, and that's where pink salt and coconut water come in. So I would definitely recommend other topicals for just belly. Like girls like to rub stuff on their belly when they're pregnant. I would use like nutrition, and from that perspective, CBD is nutrition. But if you want to keep that out of the baby,
that makes sense.
If you don't need it, try the food sources first. The other food sources.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure, because I was wondering about that. I don't know exactly how to do.
Look, I've used this example many times in my career. Mackenzie Phillips from, I don't know if you know her, she used to be on One Day at a Time when we were kids,
right.
but she actress, and I think it's safe to say she came out like super drug addict the whole time she was pregnant, like major drugs. And she had a baby, and he had all 10 toes and all 10 fingers, and at that time at least said to be healthy and normal. So, if you're worried, I mean, my parents both smoked, and my mom smoked all the way through till I was 6. And I'm here and you're
Right.
here. I think that, there's so many factors that go into making a baby. I think that one thing is not going to be the cause of any issue. And if you're balanced and healthy, you're going to always have a better outcome than if you weren't. So I think you got to weigh the pros and the cons.
So if you want to make crazy weirdos like us, smoke all through your pregnancy. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, Julie E., it's been so fun having you on. Can you tell everyone where we can find you online and like your social media, just so we can, so people can look you up right now, get in touch?
Yes. My website is julieehealth.com. So there's actually 3 E's total, if you write about the word. All of my social media is at Julie E. Health. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. And we just filmed about 30 new videos over December and the holidays. So the YouTube page is going to start to grow with a lot of new information. I try to keep people informed of the real truth about your health. One of my favorite places to send people is to the video called The 5 Missing Things from All Health Regimens and Health Programs. So you'll find that on my website. And yeah, stay in touch. All of our products are clean and healthy. And I do phone consultations if you're interested and you need help. I like to guide people, at least get them started on the right path, because so many people are like, where do I start? And I don't trust anyone, and I don't know what's right and what's wrong, because we've made it that way. There's like a million diet books and they all say totally different things. So people are confused. Keeps me employed.
Right.
I guess.
Cool. So we'll link to all of that on the blog post about this episode. And like, if you have any YouTube videos that are specifically about CBD or have incorporated in any way, we can embed those or something so people can see them there, and you'll still get the views or whatever. But yeah, very cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for getting back in touch. And it was crazy times in Vegas, and I'm glad that we got to talk about your actual practice and how you use CBD. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
Like it's unexpected and really neat to hear. I was going to say, like, should we get into, do you do anything crystals or psychic and stuff like that?
I have 5 crystals lined up in front of my computer. I have done an entire energy thing to my entire home and office. So everything I have is science-based. It's not just crystals and voodoo kind of energy. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but yeah, I mean, I definitely get holistic. We didn't talk about that after the functional medicine. I did like the next 10 years into like energy medicine and holistic things. So
nice.
I don't know how we didn't get in there, but we can do it at a later time.
Well, next time we talk, we'll throw a little bit of crystal and that sort of stuff, energy into it, because I like getting into that kind of talk too. It's cool. I know, I don't understand it at all, but I like learning about it. But so thank you for teaching us so much about this. Like anytime I can talk to someone who knows a lot about any subject that I'm sort of interested in, now I'm really interested. You know what I mean? So thanks for teaching all of us, Julie.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Julie E.
Anthony Sullivan here for the CBD Source Podcast. You've heard the rest, now listen to the best.
Gang's all here. The CBD Gang. Give the show a call at 1-833-223-4264. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG.
Wow, what a show. The beginning of the episode got really, really real. I hope the conversation with Julie E made up for us freaking out, and I truly hope that the freak out was unwarranted. Well, if you want to know how that whole thing turned out, for the next week at least, Ryan, Anthony, and myself will be working from home. Becca, Cass, our wrap-up girl and social media maven, and the rest of the gang will be working from the office while wearing those N95 masks that are like the ones that are corona-proof. It took a while to figure out what I would need to bring home, considering we're home for a week at least, but we did have to think ahead, like what if the country turns into something like the book The Hot Zone, which I read years ago when that Ebola outbreak was happening in Africa. It could get really crazy, so I rented a storage unit nearby to make room for some of my gear that I had in my studio already, to bring my other gear home. It's just been a crazy day and a half, so that's why this episode's getting up late. Next week, we will get it up on time. Make sure to stick around till the end of the credits for some bonus show. Anyway, I'm still planning on going live at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. On Instagram only, because I've only got one phone to shoot from. So hopefully I'll see you there. We won't be shipping prizes for the past 2 weeks or the upcoming week, but we will have those prizes going out probably sometime in April, just FYI. So you still will be getting your prizes. If you're the last 2 people who won, those prizes will be going out the second this whole thing is cleared up and we're able to get back into the office and all that. So if you want to win CBD, tune in this Wednesday, 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time, to our Hemp Day CBD Source giveaway. So follow us on Instagram at CBD Source Podcast, so you make sure not to miss us going live. It doesn't really notify you when we're going live sometimes, so you might have to go to our profile and click on our profile image, and that might take you to the live when we will be live. We go live starting at around 4:15 and then wraps up at around 4:25, 4:30 p.m. So, CBD gang, stay safe. Keep your distance from other people. Sneeze or cough into your elbow and wash your hands thoroughly with warm soap and water as though they had acid on them. And maybe that acid might not be fatal to you, but it has the possibility of killing your parents or grandparents. So make sure you clean your hands really thoroughly. Stay away from large events with a lot of people. And I'll CBD you next Friday.
Give the show a call at 1-833-223-4264. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG.
CBD Source Podcast is written, produced, and hosted by Cole Cheney. Graphic design, photo, and artwork by Ryan Webber, Johnny D, Kevin Bierfelt, Steve, and Cole Cheney. Marketing by Penny Spinazzola. Special thanks to our resident CBD guru, Akash Patel, our CBD Source Vape Lounge expert, Anthony Maltese, our C-Body Fitness instructor, Danny, our personal Cannabidiet CBD Chef Ryan Webber, our CBD News co-host and vocal artist, Tasha Miller, and our CBD Gang subreddit mod, social media maven, and wrap-up girl Cass. That's me. Additional thanks to Caitlin, Liz, Ryan, and Kevin for lending your vocal talents. Want to be a guest on the show? Or do you have a great Weed Man van story? Or a story about your craziest experience with the munchies? Call us at 1-833-CBD-GANG. Again, that's 1-833-223-4264. And leave a message. We like your story, we might play it on the show. Visit us on CBDSourcePodcast.com for all your links to social media, YouTube, and our message board, r/CBDGang on Reddit. Be sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next week.
latest social media pages and interactions are for informational purposes only. The CBD Source podcast does not offer medical advice. Its host, Cole Cheney, is not a medical professional. His experiences with cannabidiol and other cannabinoids are his own and may not affect you the same way. Everybody's endocannabinoid system is different. The statements made regarding CBD products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The efficacy of these products and the testimonials made have not been confirmed by FDA-approved research. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. All information presented here is not meant as a substitute for or alternative to information from healthcare practitioners. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product. The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act requires this notice.
Do you like or want to try quality, third-party tested CBD? Do you live in the New York, Pennsylvania area? We got you covered, gang. We're growing more each month, so check in with CBDSourceCenter.com to find our addresses and new store locations. While you're there, sign up for our mailing list. We're adding new stores across New York and Pennsylvania all the time. We may soon be expanding to a town near you.
Hey gang, want to score free CBD? Sign up for Loyal and Save online or on your phone and use it whenever you shop at CBD Source locations. You'll earn points towards free products and other cool merch. Sign up for free at cbdsourcepodcast.com/loyal. You can download the Loyal and Save app on iTunes or Google Play. That's our loyalty app. Call Help Designed It.
I was trying to Skype with Cannabis Evolutionary HempGuard Elite Matt Berna. That's BRNA. I met him through LinkedIn because he was posting some really insightful and cool stuff about the coronavirus and hemp. I'm just going to read his about on his LinkedIn right now. I really want to talk to him. Maybe we'll get him on the phone next week and be able to talk to him. All right, so this is what his about says. This is Matt Berna, Cannabis Evolutionary HempGuard, bettering life on Earth with cannabis since 1990, first generation legalization. He's based in the greater Denver area. Due to the impending deadly coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic and phenomenal healing abilities of the cannabis plant, I strongly suggest that everyone who is able to plant and purchase your legal limits of cannabis in preparation today. It's also an excellent idea to watch for news about how much cannabis is necessary to eat to clear and safeguard from COVID-19 when such is discovered. Returning humanity unto harmonious homeostasis within its best environment is a lifelong, passionate endeavor of this original improvement specialist, IS. So I was messaging him back and forth on through LinkedIn, and let me just read some of what he was saying to me. He said, hemp surgical masks, scarves, filters, bedding, clothing, being antimicrobial, anti-pneumonia, and anti-MRSA need to be distributed globally, anti-coronavirus or not. Every hospital needs hemp textiles, ASAP. Woven from outer stalk material and non-woven from inner stalk material, hemp plus elastic band. Is money printed on hemp also safer? More importantly, who uses cannabis to clear or alleviate COVID-19 influenza malaria? Eating 10 milligrams to 10 grams of cannabis flowers or extract daily, a few times or just once. Decarboxylated, boiled, raw, nano-sized, full-spectrum CBD, THC, CBV. If eating half to a full joint clears the flu or common colds in a day, will it clear COVID-19 that quickly, easily, and safely too? The answers need to go viral before the coronavirus does. We can do it. Pass it on. And then he has a link to hemp textiles are bacteria resistant on labroots.com, as well as links to projectcbd.org and phoenixtears.ca. So interesting stuff. Like, I don't know if a hemp respirator is small enough to capture these micro nano particles of coronavirus, but I love the element of having the antibacterial properties of hemp doing something positive towards stopping future outbreaks, even if it's just one layer of the mask is hemp or like it's infused somehow. We were joking around last week about a CBD infused mask, but like a hemp infused mask might actually help. So anyway, I'm sorry that I didn't get to actually speak with Matt before the deadline of this episode. I wanted to get him on here, but maybe next time we'll talk to him. I want to see if I want to see what this guy's all about because he's got some interesting theories.
Thank you for listening to the CBD Source podcast. This is how we CB do's it.